I started as a student here in the fall of 1987, and in the spring of 1990 I started teaching, and I've taught at least one course here since 1990, every academic year, including summers. In my career, I've taught 20 different courses here at NDSU, spanning all sorts of things in botany, biology, zoology, education. I currently teach first semester and second semester freshmen, so intro biology, every fall and spring, and absolutely love it. I love being in an interactive classroom. We teach in a scale-up room, which is what this building is. We're in AG Hill, and it's an interactive classroom building. And so very few fixed seating rooms, all whiteboards around the room. Students, there's no center podium. Students are working with each other. We wander the room. It's fantastic. I won't teach anywhere else. I also teach in an upper division course called Comparative Anatomy that is often for students who are going on to medical professional schools. And so we take a tour through the organisms, including some dissections and activities along the way. I also teach a course called The Science of Learning, and that's for our undergraduate learning assistant program. And we hire undergraduate learning assistants as early as sophomore year that are co-instructors with us in the classroom. So as near peers, they get to engage, share the struggles and triumphs that they had in the classes, and really resonate with the students. I get to come to campus and work with young people who are excited or not, in their pajamas or not, ready to learn or not, but it's something new every single day. It's a new batch of students, it's a new set of dynamics, it's a new population of courses. As we're working our way through whatever's happening in the world, we bring into class. So I get to have the best job in the world. I learned that I can relate well to students, that I am not as serious as they think an instructor is going to be, that I let my personality come through, and they get to know me as a person and I get to know them as people as well. So I go to their softball games, I go to their plays, I'm in of course at Bison football, I'm in the stands and seeing them as they're walking around, I see them on campus, I go to the dining centers and have lunch with them. So I really try to meet my students where they are, and I tell them that I will meet you any time of day. We have office hours as early as 6 a.m. for those who work overnight shifts before they take my 8 o'clock class. And I can't think of another career where you get to do that with so many students. As I said earlier, I've taught over 20 classes, and as I was preparing some materials for a report, the post-tenure review that we do on campus now, we did an estimate counting the students, and I've taught over 10,000 students. And so that's a pretty big number, and to think that I had some small part in one day of education that they might remember from their undergraduate or graduate careers is pretty astounding. The Council of College Faculties, I think, is a hidden gem on campuses. I had been here for 20 years before I really started to even pay attention and know what was going on. We get lost in our careers, we get lost in our day-to-day operations on a campus, but the Council of College Faculty is an opportunity for faculty to not work for their individual institution, but to work for the system and make it better for everybody that's there. Faculty across all 11 of our institutions, staff across all 11 of our institutions, and the tens of thousands of students that pass through our doors every single year. And so I got involved actually from a colleague who said, hey, NDSU is electing a new rep. You should think about it because of your experiences. And so I did, and the first year I was just like learning a little bit about what was going on. Then I had the opportunity to become our vice president, which means I attended the Academic Affairs Council meetings for that year and got to know the provost or vice president for academic affairs and seeing how decisions were made and thinking, wow, faculty have an opportunity to give input. And I didn't know that before. I thought it was all this higher up sort of people and making decisions, and we lived with the consequences. And then in my third year, I had the opportunity to become the faculty rep to the State Board of Higher Education. And so that's why we're here, and I've been doing that for the last 4 years. But it has been a remarkable experience to be able to have a voice, to be able to have a say for faculty at the board level, to be able to have meetings with faculty from each of the institutions and say that our voice does matter and they do listen. And we've been able to help shape policy. We were instrumental in post-tenure review. I've had the opportunity with the board to be able to give testimony about why general education courses are important in the legislature, and that bills to have reduced credit degrees that eliminate general ed aren't doing what employers want us to have and what they're seeking, and that there has to be different approaches to that, not just cutting out entire areas. To be able to talk about why expansion of programs is necessary across campuses, and eliminate some of the conversations of, well, if they're doing it in Williston, we don't need to do it in Wahpeton, because students aren't necessarily traveling from the northwest to the southeast. Online education provides an opportunity for students to be members of any of the institutions and get an education that fits their needs. And so being a part of those conversations, being behind the curtain, if you will, and seeing how those decisions are made and working its way through policy, working its way through process jointly with the legislature, I have found inspiring and frustrating and impactful for all of us. But I think the most important aspect for me, or the thing that I'm going to leave most proud of, is bringing voice for the faculty to the board members and developing relationships. And so not coming in as this is what faculty want, but talking through, understanding where the different perspectives and lenses are coming from, being able to pick up the phone and engage in a conversation because I had questions, and being even though faculty and staff are non-voting members, our voices were respected in those conversations. They were sought out. So some people run, some people knit, some people cook. In their free time, I coach. I love swimming. I'm committed to it from all different avenues. I was a swimmer way back a long time ago. All 4 of my kids were. And I've continued to volunteer or be a family participant of the West Fargo Flyers and the West Fargo Packers since the 1970s when I was a little kid. So when I do something, I stick with it for a long time. And so I have the opportunity to coach right now. So I'm a co-head coach for the West Fargo Packers. And I'm a club coach for the West Fargo Flyers. So I get little kids from 5 years old who will say, my tooth is falling out, and I'll tell them it's in my pocket and they can get it at the end of practice, to high schoolers who are on the cusp of doing amazing things and going off to really prime programs across the country following their dreams. And I get to be a part of that entire adventure, and it gives me inspiration, it gives me an outlet, it gives me joy, and if I can't coach, then I officiate. And so I do that across the country as well, getting to travel and watch our Olympic hopefuls, our former Olympians, riding on an elevator with Katie Ledecky, and she's like, you're from North Dakota, my grandma lives in Williston, and I'm like, we know. And so talking with her at swim meets, and so I get to run the gamut with coaching. So our high school boys, the West Fargo Packers swim and dive team, did something that we are on the verge of confirming was the first time to ever happen in the country for men's or women's high school swimming. And so in March, we won all 12 events at the high school state meet. So 9 individual events and 3 relays. So we had not only the best sprinters, not only the best semi-distance swimmers, not only the best divers, not only the best stroke specialists, but at depth to be able to win the relays as well. And so if you Google it and say who has won all 12 events, West Fargo Packers come up, and that's pretty impressive. And along the way, 2 of our relay teams were ranked, again, we're waiting on confirmation, number 6 in the country and number 10 in the country of all programs nationwide. So they're competing with the best of the best. We work hard, but we play hard, and that's the motto I have at NDSU in my classes, and that's the motto I have in the world I get to do with swimming. You can sleep when you're dead is what my mom always said, and so we're here to live, to serve, and to do, and so enjoy what you're doing, and if you don't, find something else to do.